Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. In this video, brewing with the Gong Fu Guru. In this video, I'm going to be giving you the basic step-by-step instructional on how to use the Gong Fu Guru to brew Gong Fu style. This video is going to go under the tea wares and the basic tea educations playlist. If at any point in time you enjoy this video, then please give the video the thumbs up. The more thumbs in the air, the more tea videos are going to come your way. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, go click that button. So if you've been given the Gong Fu Guru as a gift, then I congratulate you on your friends. If you've purchased one for yourself, then I congratulate you on your taste. Today, all I'm going to be doing is giving you the basic instructionals on how to use the Gong Fu Guru so that you can immediately start brewing Gong Fu style and start to produce the most delicious brews that you've ever tasted. Okay, so I have in front of me the wet tray area of the Gong Fu Guru. The dry storage area is kept away, and if you haven't watched our previous video on unboxing the Gong Fu Guru, then I really suggest that you do that, and I'll put a link in the description below. So the dry storage area always is kept away from the wet storage area. So we've taken this top tray off and we're bringing it down to our dining room table or wherever you're going to be serving your tea, and we are ready to brew, and we're not going to get the dry storage area wet at all. So what I have in front of me is the tray. I've got the stainless steel water catcher. I've got the stainless steel strainer in its place. I have the towel here, which I just fold easily into thirds. So very simply, I just fold it into thirds like that, right? So fold it into thirds, and then I place this right next to me here. And this way I've got a nice absorbent area for when I want to wipe my cups or anything. Right, the next thing you need to decide is which teapot you're going to be using. The glass teapot is universal. You can use it for any tea type, but specifically it's very good for green teas because it is made of glass and therefore it will lose heat quicker than the clay pot. But you can brew any tea, and today we're going to be brewing a roasted oolong here, so I'm going to show you how to make sure you maintain the temperature if you decide to use the glass teapot. You can, of course, select the lovely proper Zisha clay Yixing clay pot, a lovely clay pot. The choice is yours. You can restrict the use of this pot to be only one tea type, or you can use it across all tea types, but I would recommend that the most you do is you restrict it to heavily oxidized, medium to heavily oxidized teas and medium to heavily roasted teas. But that's completely your call, and I will put a video link in the description below that describes a lot more about the joys of this Yixing clay pot and that decision-making process. Okay, so today I'm going to be brewing an oolong tea, a dark roasted oolong tea. That would be great for this pot, but I want to show you how to do it with the glass pot. So here we go, our glass pot. So we have everything set up. We've got our teapot, our glass pot, our gong dao bei, and the amount of cups that you have guests. Obviously, it's just me today, so it's just going to be solo. But we have 4 cups in the Gong Fu Guru, so you can serve up to 4 people. Of course, you can find more cups, small cups somewhere, and you can serve more people. All right, so what do we do first? The first thing we want to do is make sure the teaware is heated up properly. And the reason for that is maintaining temperature when brewing is very important to making sure that you extract the flavor properly. And these glass pots, because they're made out of glass and not made out of clay, they lose heat a little bit quicker, and therefore it's important that we always are conscious of keeping the temperature constant and high in the pot. So I'm just going to put some boiling water. This is boiling water, 99 degrees Celsius, about 210 Fahrenheit, so very, very hot. And I'm just making sure that that now warms up nicely. So just leaving that for a few seconds to warm up is really, really important. The joy of the water catcher is you're not going to make any mess. You can pour away into here. You only start to worry about this getting full when you start to see the water level rise above the bottom of this filter. So when you start to see that the water level is rising above that point, then stop what you're doing, take the stainless steel water catcher out, go to the sink, pour it away, come back, continue brewing. That way, no risk of any spills. Okay, so now this is to temperature. I'm now going to pour this into my teaware just so that this is all nice and warm. Now, immediately while this is warm, I'm going to be taking my tea. This is a Jinshuan, so it's a Taiwanese Jinshuan oolong, which has been heavily roasted. So it's called Midnight Sun. Again, I'll put a link in the description below, but it's a lovely roasted Jinshuan oolong. And we're going to use the back of our tweezers just to make sure that we put every single one of these leaves in. Now, the amount that I'm using here is 11 grams. This teapot total full is 200 ml, but we're going to be filling it up to the point here where the water, where the spout meets the body, and that's about 150. So I've got 11 grams here. In terms of the amount of tea you use and the temperature of the water you use, please download our brewing guide. Again, I'll put a link in the description below so that you can download our brewing guide. So I don't have to go through that now, but 11 grams is what I'm doing here for this, because I'm going to be brewing about 150, 160 ml. Okay, so we've got a hot pot, we've got the leaf in there. Now is a perfect opportunity to smell the leaf. And immediately I'm getting a lot of the aromatics because it's a warm pot. So a lot of the aromatics are coming through. I'm getting that creamy Jinshuan aroma, but with this roasted note and a slight cherry fruit note as well. Okay, whilst this is still warm, in goes some water. You don't have to fill it up. Just put it about halfway, and we're doing what we call the rinse. So I'm going to pour away this water here, pour away this water. Take my strainer, always very important, whenever you're straining from here to here, put the strainer in and immediately pour off. So the purpose of the rinse, there are many purposes of the rinse. One of them is to get rid of the little particles of tea that are broken up. The other is to start to open up these balls so that they're ready for the first infusion proper, because they're basically all tightly rolled up. So you need to hydrate them to start them to open up. There are other reasons for rinsing. And again, I've made videos about that. You can hopefully find those. Now is the perfect chance to smell the leaf as it has been hit with water. Great time to smell, and so much more flavor and aromatics are coming out. What I recommend you do is smell from the lid, because if you smell direct from here, there's a lot of humidity. If you want to get a stronger smell, then leave this, let some of the excess steam come away. Now you can go in. Incredible. We're not going to talk too much about the tea, but it is a lovely roasted Jinshuan oolong. Okay, so now we've got the tea rinse. We're going to pour some into the cup. That starts to warm up the cup again and starts to release some of the fragrance. And then we're going to pour some of this tea wash and offer it to our buffalo, which you can see flush as gold, beautiful. It's always nice to have a tea pet. Okay, another thing you can do is you can check on the quality of your tea. So if you shake the leaf now, shake the pot. If the leaf is poorer quality tea and has lots of broken leaf, then you will start to notice that the lid starts to pick up a lot of that. And you can see here that there's hardly anything on here. It's really, really clear, really, really clean. So we know this is a high quality tea. Just a nice little trick, especially with ball rolled oolongs. Now, with your tweezers, let's imagine you had 4 people here, so you have 4 of these cups, all with tea in. You want to make sure you empty the tea. Do not use the tweezers this way round. In other words, point side down, it will not work. You use the tweezers this way, so curve side down, and when you put it in here into the cup and squeeze, the cup automatically turns. Can you see that? I didn't really move anything. I'll show it to you again. Just bring it down, and as you squeeze, it turns automatically. Okay, so that's the way to do it. If you do it this way, I'll try, but I'm sure, right, you can see it's not as pleasant and it will potentially fall. So always curve side down. Okay, so we've rinsed the tea, we've given tea to our tea pet. Now we're going to brew properly. So we hit it with the water again, and I'm going to bring the water up to the point where the spout and the body meet. And then I pour some more hot water over the top. Again, the reason is to make sure that we're trying to keep the temperature as warm as possible. And now my mental stopwatch has started. We want to do about 15 to 20 seconds of here. So make sure you take your strainer, always use your strainer to catch any of the stray little particles and things like that. And you can also, if you want, pour water over the top to maintain the temperature a little bit hotter, especially with oolong teas. Okay, that's about the right amount of time. We then gently pour this into the Gong Dao Bei or the fairness cup. And the reason why we use the fairness cup, for those that don't know, is if I was going to pour direct from this teapot into different cups, then the first person would get a weaker pour than the last person. The Gong Dao Bei or fairness cup evens out the infusion so everybody tastes the same thing. Always in between brews, take the lid off. You want to make sure that you take the lid off so that the leaf doesn't stew and steam, but is allowed to cool down and evaporate. Now's the time where we don't mind. In fact, we want the pot to cool down. It's only when we're brewing that we want to maintain the temperature by pouring water over the top. You can see the tea strainer here. You can see that it has picked up a little bit of the tea dust and little bits of particles. As you continue to brew and your session gets longer, then this will build up. The easiest way to clear it away is to turn it upside down over the hole in the stainless steel water catcher and just pour water over the mesh part, and that way it's now completely clear and all of the leaf particles are in the bottom. So we have now brewed our tea. So we've got Gong Fu brewed tea here. You serve it in the cups. If you're serving it to guests, you would take this cup, you would normally wipe it onto the towel before serving it, but this is just for me. So now I'm going to enjoy my Gong Fu brewed Midnight Sun. Creamy, milky, buttery, roasted. The fruit is not emerging yet. Instead, I'm getting the slight mineral dryness, but overarching flavors are the thick, milky body and the roasted flavor. Now, that was the first infusion. Usually, second, third infusions are stronger because the leaf has now had a chance to open up. But you can see how those 11 grams of leaf have turned into a lovely mass, a lovely mass of oolong tea there, and we will continue to brew. And again, in the brewing guide that you'll see in the link below, you can look at the weights, the temperatures, and how long you brew for. But we will be just continuing to add about 5 seconds to every infusion. So the next infusion will be between 20 and 25 seconds, and then 25 and 30, 30 to 35, etc., etc. And you can brew this many, many times. Always remember to take the lid off in between and leave it to cool down. You can always be smelling. It's a wonderful way. Never forget aroma when you are tasting tea. Aroma is, I would say, at least 50% of the pleasure of drinking tea. So you're tasting it, but always smell those leaves. And one of the great things about Gong Fu Brewing is that it's always there in front of you, and you've got a lot of leaf for you so that you can really, really pick out the nuances of the flavor. Gorgeous. So that's it. That's the basic instructional steps of how to Gong Fu brew. You can go as complex as you want. There are many ceremonial aspects that you can incorporate, but really, that's as simple as it is. And if you start to brew this way, you can add on your skills as you start to brew more and more tea. A great way to brew tea, the easiest way, the Gong Fu way. This is the Gong Fu Guru. That's it, tea heads. If you made it to the end of this video, then please give the video the thumbs up. Check out our YouTube playlist and let us know if there are any videos that you would like us to make. If you're ever in London, then come visit us in Camden to say hi and taste our wares. If you have any questions or comments, then please fire them over. Other than that, I'm Don May from Mayleaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from the tea bags, keep drinking the good stuff, and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.